Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Monday morning espresso shot. And I see we've got a couple of people already, and others will be coming in. Good morning, Joanna, and good afternoon or evening, Natalie, from Germany. So thank you so much for joining today. Blessings to all of you. And so let us begin this morning, as we always do. And we will do our heart focused breathing, and let us begin by placing awareness in the area of our heart, and begin to take slow deep breaths and visualize these flowing in and out of your heart, breathing slow and gentle and deeply than you normally would, and just take those slow, deep breaths, and you're breathing through your nose or your mouth, but just visualize these breaths flowing in and out of your heart. Let us begin to engage the heart through this breathing technique. Notice yourself. Are you slowing down in terms of your body? Do you feel everything settling in? Allow your heart to take control and settle everything down in your system. Slow, deep breaths, and visualize these flowing in and out of your heart. Know that you are building a coherent field, and in this field, you are stopping any kind of anxiety or stress response your body may have. And you're also preparing your body for the day and perhaps for the week. Slow, deep breaths. Notice if your shoulders moving up and down. If it is, then see if you can do it without having your shoulders move. And take those gentle deep breaths. If you can breathe in for a count of 5 and breathe out for a count of 5, that would be wonderful. But you don't have to. Just breathe in a rhythm that's comfortable for you. Take slow and gentle, deep breaths. Wonderful. I so appreciate having all of you on this call today, because when we do this together, our coherent field actually multiplies, and it doesn't multiply linearly, it multiplies exponentially. In other words, 1 plus 1 equals more than 2 when we get together like this. Excellent. Now let's talk about the I didn't know that moment. And you can continue doing this breath technique as we walk through the next 5 minutes of this. I'd like to ask you a bit of surveys. If you look at your screen, those who are on the computer, those who are on the phone, just bear with us for a second. But those on the computers, see if you can help me understand if you did your HeartMath practices last week. And it's a good gauge for me to see how well the coaching session's going. And if you haven't been doing it, that's okay too. Then we can talk about that. So please take some time to add your 2 cents worth in there. And I see somebody's doing practice every day, and we have other people doing 3 to 5 times a week. I think that's very amazing if you can do that. If you can, if you're taking a shower, do this technique during that time. And of course, you're doing it once a week when you're joining me here, so that's much appreciated. Wow, half of you who have responded are doing this every day. That's so wonderful. We'll take about 10 more seconds before we close the polls. Excellent. So doing this for 5 to 15 minutes a day will actually help you in 6 weeks. Studies have shown that when you do this in a structured way and you engage your life in a structured way in terms of putting structure to the HeartMath technique, it's a wonderful results that you'll get at the end. This, what we're doing in the Monday morning coaching sessions, is a start. Excellent. So we've got the results in. Thank you so much. I see a lot of you are practicing every day, and 3 to 5 times a week. That's amazing. Really excited about that. So we'll let you see the results there. All right. Let's talk about today's topic. This was inspired by a recent exchange that I had on social media. I posted an article that talked about low-income families and how external triggers are affecting their marriages more than middle-income families. And of course, I posed some questions about that, whether that is true or not, or whether that's something that we can accept or not. So let's talk about it today. So here's the article about external triggers in you. They talk about marriage breakdown, and this was done in the April 7th edition, that is very recent, of Psychology Today. And I love sharing these things out. It generates a lot of discussion. Let's take a look at what they're saying. This is a quote from the article. It says, counselors should focus less on internal dynamics of the relationship and instead look first at external stresses that are straining the marriage. So now what we're doing is the psychologists are saying, let's blame everything on things that are happening outside of us. And of course, that's not what we teach in HeartMath. But let's see if we can bring the two together and reconcile the two. The next thing it says is that alleviating these external factors can go a long way towards boosting relationship satisfaction. Once again, we're giving our power away to things that are outside our control. And it's like if we can alleviate the situation, then only our life gets better. I think that's a wrong direction to go from a philosophical thinking perspective. Yes, we have issues externally. People who are in poverty are fighting for survival. I totally get that. But giving up and saying that, no, you know what, we take care of the external factors first before dealing with the issues with that person, I think is a wrong approach. I think we need to tackle them both together. And I'll tell you why that is such an important philosophy from a government perspective. If in a government situation you're a government official and you say, okay, you know what, we need to take care of external problems first, and therefore I've only got $300 million to allocate to this, which means I can only kind of assign that money for external triggers, and then if I have some money left over, I will deal with the internal problems. You see where the problem is here? Is when we acknowledge and we don't define the problem properly. If we say that things are outside people's control, we don't deal with the people, we deal with the external factors. We try and control things that are outside us. And this is the final quote that I'm going to share with you, actually second final, I guess. In marriage, it seems that once you get the external stresses under control, internal problems are much more easier to solve. And again, that's up for debate. Now, two thoughts we need to ponder here. Are we giving power away by accepting the notion that external factors drive our behavior? And of course, that is something that I would challenge myself. What about law of attraction? Is it still true? Absolutely, that you must feel good in order to attract good. If that's the case, shouldn't we be reversing that? Shouldn't we be dealing with the internal struggles that human beings have, no matter what their income levels are? There is an internal factor, and a billionaire may have external factors, but their body responds exactly the same as somebody who lives in poverty with external factors. The body doesn't understand and doesn't really know what or care what the external factors are. What the body cares is the fact that you have a stress response. And it doesn't matter what triggers the stress response. So I'm happy to have you guys chime in on this and chat in the chat box here and tell me if you feel that external factors are perhaps more important to deal with first as a priority than internal factors. And I think we need to deal with both of them together. And giving our power away like that absolutely is unhealthy for human development. And that's my sermon for today. So we can chime in going forward here. And so let us now do the next phase of our heart-focused breathing technique. Actually, we'll do, here we go. Sorry, we're not ready to let you go yet. My presentation is a bit slow here. So we're going to do a quick coherence technique. And in this quick coherence technique takes it one level further than the heart-focused breathing technique that we did. Essentially, what I want you to do is now reach for that love and appreciation and bring that into your heart as we're doing the breath technique. So I'll guide you through it. So let us begin. So place awareness in the area of your heart and take slow, deep breaths and visualize these flowing in and out of your heart. This is the same as we did before, the heart-focused breathing technique. The quick coherence technique adds one more step to this. So keep taking those slow, deep breaths. And now engage in an experience of positive feeling of love, appreciation, and peace. Bring forward that experience that you've had in the past or that you project into the future that makes you feel good. And remember that no matter what's going on around you, externally, no matter what, you still have control of your own feelings and your own response to that. So when you take the slow, deep breaths and visualize these flowing in and out of your heart, and if you experience a positive feeling, love, appreciation, compassion, when you do that, your body begins to heal from within, and your wisdom, your heart wisdom activates so that you can find yourself out of a situation, with all the information available to you that has always been available to you. Slow, deep breaths. And as we're doing this, ask yourself, how can we help those who are in low-income situation that may have issues, internal struggles, marital problems, familial problems, problems with education, problems with neighbors? What can we do to help them with this? If we begin to focus on them and begin to generate help them generate those feelings of appreciation and love from within, that would go a long way, and that's the first priority, I think. So take those deep breaths. But first we must work on ourselves. Are you experiencing a positive feeling of love, appreciation, and peace? Because that is where your body begins to recharge your inner battery system. And if you do this for 15 minutes each day, you will see a measurable difference. Wonderful. Those 15 minutes flew by fast. So, happy to take any questions. Again, if you have to go, you feel free to go, please. I'm happy to stick around for another 15 minutes to answer any questions you may have. So please feel free to type that in. And it doesn't have to be about what we talked about today. It could be any topic at all. I have two comments or questions. Here we go. Lou and Will. Lou has a question. Using the HeartMath techniques, can we get ourselves into coherence, then send this to family, neighbors, others intentionally? Absolutely, yes. It's actually an advanced form of technique called the heart lock-in technique. It's an advanced form called the heart lock-in technique. That is actually, Lou, you're in my 21-day HeartMath coaching program, which will include that. So you will learn that on week 4, how to do exactly that. So you are in for a treat, because that is exactly what we do with the heart lock-in technique. Incidentally, on April 25th, I'm starting a new 21-day program for those who have would like to start that with me. 21 days to HeartMath coaching. So for 4 weeks, 21 days, and transform your life using all the advanced techniques in HeartMath. So thank you for asking that question, Lou. So I'll park that for now until we get to that segment in 2 weeks. Natalie, I've had that beautiful discussion with you, and it made me aware how important it is what you I and so many others are doing. Yes, we've had that wonderful conversation, Natalie, about how we can only control things ourselves inside our hearts, and if we want to do and shine our hearts out to others, we can't control the external stresses that others feel. We can only coach them and help them through engaging life from within and transforming themselves from within, so they can find their own solutions to the problems. And isn't that the epitome of empowering individuals, is to bring them to their own solutions, because that is the only way people can have everlasting change. Thank you for your comments, Natalie. David, thank you. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you, David. And if there are no more comments or questions, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, Natalie. And yes, let's just say our hellos and goodbyes here. Typing in, we appreciate that. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful week. And I look forward to seeing you next week, same time again.